Alright everybody, what's going on, and welcome back to another video. And I have the video I have for you guys today, like you guys seen in the title. It's going to be about the spinal cord awareness, spinal cord injury awareness month, and how this injury has been for me for the past about a year and a half now. So I'll start with the spinal cord injury. For those that don't know, I know most of you do, but I think there's a couple out there that don't know like exactly what it is, so I'll start with that. So a spinal cord injury is an injury that prevents you from feeling, feeling and moving your body. So pretty much you'll be paralyzed. So in my case, move up a little bit. So in my case, it's about T3, T4, so it's about chest level. So T3, T4, whenever you hear like T, L, or C, yeah, I think it's C, that represents like a location on the spine that was affected. So for me, it was T3, T4. That means that I broke the T3 and T4 vertebrae, and when they broke, they compressed my spinal cord. So what that means is, first I'll explain what a spinal cord is. So what that is a kind of a cord that goes all along your spine, I think down to about your tailbone, and there's a whole bunch of nerves that branch off of it, and they go to like different parts of your body, so you can feel and get signals down to those parts. So mine was compressed. That means that the bones, they kind of pinch the spinal cord, so from the chest level down, the signals aren't reaching that point because it's compressed. So think of it like a hose. So the water comes out, and then if you pinch the hose, it's not going to get through and not going to go to the rest of the hose, pretty much. So it's just like this. The brain is the water source, the spinal cord is the hose, and then mine is pinched. So everything from you guys can't see, let me move up a little more. Alright, well, everything from the chest down, like where I showed you guys, isn't getting those signals. So that includes, my core muscles, my ab muscles, my obliques, which is the sides, my back muscles, my legs, my toes, everything from the chest down, pretty much I can't feel or move it. In the beginning, now I've been regaining some like strength in my core. I've been able to connect to my quads and my hamstrings, which is leg muscles, a lot better now. Not exactly where I would want them, but and it's taken a lot longer than I thought, for sure. But there's been a lot of progress, and my balance has gotten really good. So there's a few positives, but for the main part, I can't move anything from the chest down. And it's different for different people. Some people break their neck, so they can't move anything from the neck down. Some people break, their tailbone, or they'll break their spine around like the belly button level, so they just can't move anything from the belly button down. So that's pretty much just their legs. So it's different for different people, and I think, the higher you go in levels, the higher the level, the higher the injury level is. Kind of the worse it gets, because you lose more the higher it goes. I'm not saying that any injury is worse than the other, but it kind of sucks the higher it is, just because, like I said, you can't move anything from there down. So there's two types of spinal cord injuries. There's a complete and incomplete. An incomplete, what that is let's say like I broke T3, T4, and I could move, maybe like my toe or something. That's incomplete because there's signals still getting down to the toe. So that means, it's getting past that point of injury. But when it's complete, that means that you can't move nothing, or you can't feel anything from that point of injury down. So yeah, that's what a spinal cord injury is. I think, they've been finding a lot of better ways to deal with spinal cord injuries in the hospital. I think they're coming out with new technology and theories to help people right from the get-go to like not have a severe injury, or as severe injury as it is. and they've come a long way from the stories I've heard of people that had injuries like 10 years ago. Those people, they didn't have nothing. Some of them were just bedridden. I think we've come a long way because we have places like the place I go to, Core, and we have a whole bunch of different technology that people will use to get their body up and moving, trying to get their brain to connect to the rest of their body. So it's really important for like people with spinal cord injuries to keep their body moving, since they're going from standing, some of them standing all day, to sitting pretty much all day, and not moving their body the way they used to. So they have to compensate doing other things like activity-based therapy, doing some sort of sport. So for those wondering like what it feels like to not be able to move more than half of your body, is probably just as weird as you think. Just like imagine like you're laying there and your therapist is telling you to bend your knee, and then you try and bend your knee, but no matter how hard you try, like you could just like be screaming, trying to put out as much effort as you can, and it's just not gonna move at all. So that's pretty much what it's like. They have like this thing, I think it was, so this is what it is. So they were like, I read this, if you put your hand on a thing, on like a flat surface like this, and then you put your ring finger out, and then you try and pick up your ring finger, but it won't move. So you guys give that a try real quick, and they say that that's pretty much what being paralyzed feels like. It is in a way. It's a little different, but that's pretty much what it feels like. No matter how hard you try and move it, it's not going to move. So that's what that's like. It's kind of hard to explain, but this is the type of thing that's going to be hard to explain unless you go through it. So I think that's the best I can get at that. So yeah, spinal cord injuries, I think they have definitely, they have a physical toll, they have a mental toll, an emotional toll, and you have to learn how to control all those things, especially the mental toll that it takes on you. You have to keep staying positive, think about the end goal, and whatever goal that is for you is different for different people. Some people aren't really focused on recovery; they're focused on making their day-to-day life better, and just making the best out of their life in a wheelchair. And then there's people that try and recover, and then there's people that lose the mental fight, and then they go into depression, and then they just isolate themselves, and that's definitely not where you want to be. Even if you don't have a spinal cord injury, whatever it is that tries to mess with your mind, you got to fight that all the way. But yeah, I think that pretty much sums up a spinal cord injury for the most part. So now we're going to get into the next part, and it's how I've dealt with this injury, and how it's been kind of like a check-in or a checkpoint for the last year and a half. So I never thought I'd be making a video like this, talking about spinal cord injury awareness. I didn't even know much about it before the injury. Like I knew something about being paralyzed, but I had no clue all this went into it. So I'll start off saying that it's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, and I think that's kind of on me because of the way I handled it in the beginning. In the beginning, I didn't deal with all the emotions that I was supposed to. All the sad feelings and the anger and everything like that. Like I kind of pushed it all to the side, and I would just focus on the people around me. I didn't want them to see me down, and yeah, I kind of pushed away all those feelings. I tried to joke around, make my family laugh, and I just didn't want them to see me down. And I also didn't I tried not to think about me being paralyzed, because I never seen myself in that situation. I never seen myself being in a wheelchair at that, and that took a big toll on me. But I like I said, I pushed it to the side, and eventually all those things just started building up until I just can't ignored anymore. So I think, you know, I'm coming off that point right now of dealing with all those emotions, trying to, you know, put my mind in check, and get back onto the ball of what I was doing. And I like throughout trying to deal with the emotions and this and that, I've still been, you know, going hard at recovery, but I think there's more I should be doing. Yeah, there's definitely more I should be doing, like just going to core, putting my all into my sessions. I don't think it's going to be enough to achieve the level of recovery that I'm trying to achieve. So I've been looking into, you know, chiropractic services. The owner of the gym that I coach at, he's been, you know, helping me out a lot, and he has offered to do chiropractic services for free since I coach there. So there's one thing called acupuncture, and we're gonna give that a try, see how that goes. So pretty much it's just like they'll put like little needles into your from, in my case, it's going to be like T3, T4, like around my injury. They're going to put it onto my back, and they're going to start rebuilding cells. So now rebuilding muscle fibers, cells, nerves, all that stuff, and pretty much all that stuff is taken away once the injury happens. So what we're trying to do, what we're gonna try and do is rebuild all that stuff and see what happens. I've done a little research on them as like how it goes for spinal cord injuries, but I haven't seen much. So I mean, if I have to be the guinea pig here, I have no problem with that, because, you know, I know God is not going to let it get worse, and if it, you know, works out well, I know it's going to be from Him, and I could get to, you know, tell everybody else this is how I got. Even if it's I got to feel, you know, some of my stomach, or I got to control, you know, like my bladder now. Even if it's just that, I'm definitely gonna, you know, spread the word and make sure everyone knows of that. So like I was talking about, dealing with the emotions and everything in the hospital, and also another thing that I had to kind of put away in my mind was thinking of the past to be happy. So what I mean by that is like looking at like what I would do a lot in the hospital, and even when I got out the hospital for the first month or two, and even up until now, even up until now, I would look at old pictures on my phone before the accident, and I would just look at, you know, what I was doing, where I was going, what kind of opportunities I had, and what I was going to make of those opportunities. So, you know, I used to do granite fabrication. I would look at pictures of, you know, I would do like this really nice piece of work, and I would take pictures of it because I was so proud of it. And then now I think of it and I'm like, I can't even make that, because I needed my whole body to make that piece that I made. So that kind of sucked. And then I would think, you know, see old videos of me in the gym, you know, doing certain movements, just me walking around. You know, I had a couple of pictures of the Grand Canyon. We went hiking there, and I would just look at the pictures and think about the old times, the good times. And I was hearing something about that, and they said try and avoid that, because then you're not going to look forward to what you have coming up. And I don't think a lot of people do that in their situation. Like, if they think about the present, all they're going to see is that they're in a chair, they're paralyzed. You know, they have to ask people for help, and that was another thing I didn't really like. Like, I didn't want to ask for help. I felt like a burden sometimes, like just because, you know, people had to look after me and help me out and this and that. That's not what the case was at all. Like, you know, people understood that I was going through what I was going through, but it was just me in my own head playing with myself. Let me go a little higher. I'm on this standing frame. But yeah, so I had to push all that away, thinking of the past, and now I have to think about the present. And what I'm learning to do is, appreciate the little steps that I make toward recovery, and just toward recovery in a physical sense and a mental sense. So like an example, like certain things that I do in therapy, like I'll be able to, like certain goals that we have, I'll reach it, and then I'll just kind of blow right past it, because the only goal I have in mind is 100% recovery. So I have to make little goals for myself along the way and celebrate each one, and then keep on going until I reach recovery. Because what I've been doing is just, like I said, any little milestone that I had, any little progress, I just like, they would tell me, and then and I think they kind of would expect me to like be happy about it, and show some sort of celebration toward it. But what I would do, I would be like, oh, okay, and then I would just go right back to therapy. And then I kind of felt like they were a little off put by that, but that's why I did it, because I only have one goal in mind, and that's complete recovery. But like I said, I noticed that's wrong now. I have to make little goals for myself, and yeah, and celebrate them along the way. I think another thing I've done wrong is I've been relying on my own ability to try and recover a little too much. I think I've just been trying to do this through my own ability, when it's really, I think, a big driving force of recovery is going to be my faith. I had a lot in the beginning, and I think I made, now that I think of it, I made more strides forward when I was just based on faith. And then as time went on, like doubt started hitting, that I don't want to say that I never thought that recovery was never possible, but doubts come in your mind. You could think that you're going to recover all day, but those doubts are still going to try and creep in your mind. So you got to fight them, and that's what I've always done. I've never let doubt sit in my mind, and I never believed that doubt. But it doesn't stop the thoughts from coming. So I think that doubt set in, and I just started trying to push too much on my own. Like trying to fight the doubt in my mind, and then trying to rely on my own ability, my own effort, to try and recover. And then the faith aspect of my recovery started going down. So I felt a little more down, because I didn't have that faith. So that's what I'm trying to rebuild right now, is my faith. I lost a little bit over the past year, and I think I know that comes from belief in God, and that with healing, with Him, all the healing is 100% possible, and I'm trying to really hone in on that, and yeah. So in a nutshell, I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but so in the last year and a half, if I had to describe it, it would just be like I would say the last year and a half for me has been on a downhill. And that's just me being honest. It's been gradually going down, and that's because like I said, because of those couple of things that I mentioned. I didn't deal with the emotions, let my faith go down, and I'm realizing all that now. So I don't want anybody watching this to be like, well, he's giving up, and that's not the case at all. And that won't be the case at all, because that's not an option. No matter how bad things get, that will not be an option. So now it's time to pick myself up, use the help of the people that are around me, the people that have been through the situation, my family, a couple friends, and use everything that I can to help me get out of this situation, instead of trying to do everything on my own. And I think that's another thing that led me to where I'm at right now, is I try to do everything on my own. And I think, you know, that comes from before the accident. I try to do everything on my own, and I actually, you know, I did a lot, but in this situation it's not going to work that way. I need help. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope I explained the spinal cord injury thing and how this last year and a half has been for me pretty well. Hope you guys got it. I'm trying to learn how to talk about emotions and all that other stuff. Like I've never been big into that, but you know, I know now that it's important, and I have to do it. It's important in my recovery, mentally, physically, emotionally, all that. So yeah, so bear with me. All right. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you to those who have been steadily coming back and watching my videos. You know, that I see, like, you know, there's a good 100-something people that are constantly there, and I want to build on those people, and you know, just keep on adding people to the channel. So thank you guys, appreciate it. See you in the next video. Just so you guys know, we got as far as like the rowing goes, they got the seat, the adaptive seat that I need, so I won't fall backward like 30 times like you guys seen in the video. So they have that all set up, so I'm gonna try and set a date with them soon, and you know, get that video out for you guys. I'm really looking forward to that experience. It's gonna be pretty cool. So see you guys then. Peace.